Patricia sees her life change drastically after a near-death experience, the famous NDE at an event. During it, she faces the worst asthma crisis of her life, which leads her on a journey between life and death. During this experience, Patricia finds herself in a mysterious tunnel, surrounded by unknown beings and an intense light that draws her in. What happened there led her to reflect on what happens after death. Hello, I'm Marcus, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here to Beyond the Life We Live. I hope you feel at home and absorb the lesson from this story we're about to tell. Also, please like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps us bring new and impactful stories to you. Patricia, who suffers from asthma, was at a barbecue with friends. She wasn't feeling well and was short of breath, so she decided not to drink during the event. At one point, she realized her condition was worsening and decided to go home to get her asthma medication. As she tried to climb the stairs to get to her car, her shortness of breath worsened considerably. Her son, noticing the situation and concerned about his mother's condition, offered to accompany her home. When they arrived home, Patricia was already struggling to breathe and realized she wouldn't be able to climb the stairs to get her medication. Feeling extremely weak, she ended up fainting. Desperate, her son shouted for help, but many of their neighbors were traveling and there was no one to assist. As an alternative, he called friends for help. Soon, Patricia's husband and some friends arrived and quickly took her to the nearest emergency room, trying to ensure she received immediate medical attention. On the way, they noticed Patricia had lost her pulse. Upon arriving at the emergency room, she was immediately attended to by the on-duty doctors. Throughout this time, Patricia showed no signs of life, but the truth was that she was already living the greatest experience of her life, a near-death experience. Finding herself in a dark tunnel, surrounded by other beings she couldn't identify, questioning where she was and what was happening, she received no answers. Continuing to walk through the tunnel, feeling quite lost but curiously without fear, she began to see a bright light at the end of it. However, as she approached that light, she started hearing voices telling her not to continue and to go back.
Patricia, don't go there. Walk in the opposite direction. If you go there, you won't be able to come back.
The closer she got to that light, the more intense and dramatic these voices became, warning her to return.
Patricia, don't go, come back. Come back.
Patricia, don't go. Patricia, don't go.
Patricia, don't go, come back.
Patricia then obeyed the voices, and as she tried to return, she felt as if she were falling into an infinite hole. At that moment, she realized she was returning to her body in the ICU while doctors tried to revive her heart. Upon regaining consciousness, Patricia initially thought she was dreaming. Upon realizing she was in a hospital, she remembered what had happened in the garage and feared she was dead. Patricia, still shocked by what had happened, reflected on the experience and how everything happened so quickly, especially considering the time without oxygen that a person can withstand. To the surprise of the doctors, there were no lasting effects, despite being without oxygen for about 10 minutes. She recalls that during the experience, she felt a sense of lightness and the absence of pain or discomfort. The light she saw was very strong, but it did not cause discomfort. But the most curious detail was that she felt she had a light body and a different perception of time, as if everything was happening simultaneously. She had the same capacity for reasoning and questioning as in everyday life, without an increase in consciousness, as often reported. However, she felt there was something more. Although she did not gain more knowledge of things, it was as if her awareness had expanded.